Welcome to a new episode of Subcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're tackling something we see quite a bit here at Subsign. And I'm betting it's familiar to many of you navigating projects, especially, in the fast-paced world of marketing and digital.
Definitely.
We call it the 90% syndrome. It's that moment when a project feels like it's just about to wrap up. You can almost smell the finish line, but then
it stalls.
Yeah, it just seems to get stuck in the mud. Think of trying to sprint through peanut butter in those final few meters.
That's a perfect analogy, really. And while we're drawing on our experiences, our Subsign experiences, this isn't just a marketing agency quirk. Not at all.
Right.
Anyone who's wrestled with a complex project, whether it's, say, a website launch, a content series, or even something completely outside of our industry.
Know the feeling.
Exactly. They likely know this feeling of being agonizingly close, but seemingly unable to cross that threshold.
So our goal today is really to dig into why this happens and maybe share some of the ways we've learned to push through that final sticky phase.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's dive in. This 90% syndrome, it's that strange point where you feel like, okay, all the heavy lifting is done.
Right. The big rocks are moved.
Exactly. The core strategy's in place. The designs are, mostly finalized. Maybe even the initial content is drafted. But then
The details.
Yeah. The last few tweaks, the final approvals, little integrations, they just seem to stretch on and on.
Taking way more time and energy than you'd ever anticipate.
It's almost as if the project develops this, sudden resistance to completion. It just doesn't want to be finished.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And from our perspective, what's interesting is the variety of forms this resistance can take. We often see it in what we jokingly call iterative refinement gone wild.
Oh, I know this one. The endless loop of, can we just try this shade of blue?
Or what if we move this button 2 pixels to the left? Yeah, it starts with good intentions, right? Wanting to make things perfect. Always.
But it can quickly devolve into these tiny, almost imperceptible adjustments that just soak up valuable time without, fundamentally improving the outcome.
And you start to wonder if the initial vision is getting lost in this sea of minor tweaks.
Totally.
And another common symptom we've observed is the late arrival of brilliant new ideas.
Yes. The 11th hour inspiration.
Exactly. You're nearing what you think is the finish line for a website build, for instance, and suddenly the conversation turns to, wouldn't it be amazing if we integrated a real-time analytics dashboard right here?
And the idea itself might be good, but
introducing significant new features that late, it inevitably throws timelines into disarray and significantly contributes to that feeling of being stuck at 90%.
Right.
Feature creep, basically.
And then there's the classic bottleneck. Approvals. Oh, the approval.
A waiting game.
The work might be complete on our end, the campaign ready to launch, but it enters this murky phase of needing sign-off, sometimes from multiple stakeholders.
You bet.
We've all experienced that frustration, haven't we? Waiting for that final stamp of approval, sometimes navigating layers of management or even external partners.
Leading to unforeseen delays. It's like the project is ready to fly, but it's just tethered by red tape.
Exactly.
And this often ties into something we really had to learn. The danger of chasing an unattainable ideal. Perfection paralysis.
Right. That natural desire to release something flawless, something you're incredibly proud of.
But that can lead to overthinking, excessive testing, a reluctance to just let go of the project, even when it meets all the essential requirements.
The fear of imperfection.
Yeah, it ironically prevents us from ever actually finishing.
And it's so discouraging when that last, seemingly small percentage of work suddenly just explodes in scope.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst.
I think you're just polishing things off, maybe doing some final QA.
And then you uncover a whole new layer of unexpected complexities or integrations that demand significant time and effort.
That anticipated quick win at the end turns into another uphill battle. Really hits morale.
It really does. So having seen these patterns emerge time and again, we've really focused on developing strategies to sort of break free from the gravitational pull of that 90% mark.
Okay, let's hear them.
Well, one of the most effective approaches we've found is the discipline of setting really clear bite-sized milestones right from the outset.
Breaking it down.
Exactly. Instead of one distant finish line, we break projects down into smaller, well-defined stages with their own mini deadlines.
Keeps the momentum going.
It does. And it also allows us to celebrate those smaller victories along the way, which keeps morale high, little wins.
That makes total sense. And building on that, we've really emphasized the importance of establishing and clearly communicating healthy boundaries.
Crucial.
With clients and within our own teams, too. Being upfront about project goals, KPIs, what's explicitly included in the scope from the very beginning.
It manages expectations.
Right. It's so important. And it acts as a powerful shield against that scope creep we mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. And it sounds simple, maybe, but we found that explicitly defining what done looks like for each stage is key.
What does done actually mean?
Yeah. Whether it's a design mock-up, a round of feedback, or the final launch creates a shared understanding. It prevents ambiguity as we approach those critical final phases.
Everyone needs to be on the same page.
Exactly. On the same page about when we can truly say, okay, this part is complete.
Another tactic we've adopted is managing revisions proactively.
The revisions loop again?
Yeah. We value client feedback immensely, obviously, but we've found that setting a reasonable limit on the number of major revision rounds.
It encourages more focused feedback earlier.
Precisely. More considered feedback earlier in the process, preventing that endless cycle of minor tweaks that can really bog things down at the end.
And this is where a bit of a pragmatic mindset comes into play. We've learned that embracing good enough at certain stages.
That sounds dangerous.
Well, it's not about sacrificing quality. It's about recognizing when a deliverable meets the necessary standards and allowing for potential future iterations if truly required later on.
Okay, I see. So don't let perfect be the enemy of good, essentially.
Exactly that. The pursuit of absolute unattainable perfection can be a major, major contributor to the 90% syndrome.
Underpinning all of this, though, and this feels like the most important part sometimes, is the absolute necessity of open and consistent communication.
Can't overstate it.
Both internally within our teams and externally with our clients.
Regular check-ins, transparent updates.
And just creating a collaborative environment where everyone feels comfortable raising concerns or sharing ideas.
It can preempt a lot of those last-minute surprises that derail progress.
Yeah, no doubt.
We've also found that having well-defined methodologies and workflows in place, it provides a crucial framework.
Structure helps.
It really does, especially for keeping projects on track as we near completion. Familiar, respected processes help streamline tasks and maintain momentum when energy levels might start to dip,
And looking ahead, even in those final stages, seems vital, too.
Proactive thinking.
Yeah, proactively anticipating potential roadblocks, thinking through the next steps and requirements.
It can save significant time and reduce stress in what can often be the most pressure-filled part of a project.
Sure.
Though, despite all the frustrations it can cause, the 90% syndrome, in a way, it reflects a commitment.
How so?
It reflects a commitment to delivering quality. It shows the team cares deeply about the final outcome, They want to get it right.
That's a great way to look at it, actually, a silver lining.
Kind of, yeah.
And ultimately, by just being aware of this phenomenon and actively implementing strategies like the ones we've discussed to counter it.
We can make those final stages feel less like a slog.
Yeah, and more like a focused push to the finish line. Manageable, maybe even enjoyable.
Maybe. Exactly. It's about learning from our experiences like we do here at Subsign and continuously refining our approach.
To make sure all that hard work,
all that creative energy invested in a project actually culminates in a timely and successful result for our clients. That's the goal.
Well said. So if you're out there navigating marketing projects and find yourself facing some of the challenges we've discussed today,
if that 90% syndrome sounds familiar,
or if you're just looking for a partner to help streamline your marketing efforts and keep things moving smoothly, get in touch with us at Subsign.
We're here to help.
We really are. We're here to help with all your marketing needs.